That thing on the screen that you see right there is Brittany Christina McKinney. That's what she goes by. That's her designation. She's 28 years old, and her slight frame clad in a red jumpsuit, and she stood emotionless. And they wanted to highlight that word. She stood emotionless in the courtroom as her charges were read against her. She is charged in the shooting deaths of a woman who I was not able to get the photo of a 61-year-old woman by the name of Jerry Griffin, or maybe that's a man. That might be a man. 61-year-old Jerry Griffin. A 10-year-old, as you see on the right hand of my screen right there, her name was Mackenzie Denise McKinney, a student at Simpkins Elementary. And then the one that really gets to me is that baby right there, because she's the smallest and she's the most defenseless. That's 2-year-old Serenity Rose. Okay, those are the 3 victims. So there was a 61-year-old victim by the name of Jerry Griffin, 10-year-old Mackenzie McKinney, and 2-year-old Serenity Rose. Okay, now Brittany McKinney, the 28-year-old, also faces charges of a hit and run involving a 2011 GMC truck belonging to Griffin after the bodies were found. So for the people who did not catch that, not only did this evil woman right here is accused of murdering 3 people, they're all related. And not only that, she also committed a hit and run afterwards, which could have also taken somebody's life. How crazy is that? And if you guys are watching, do me a favor and click that thumbs up. It does help our algorithm here on YouTube. It'll share the stream and let other people know that we're live. Thank you to everybody that's already clicked the thumbs up. Let's try to at least get 100 thumbs up. Let's get a thumb up for everybody that's watching, okay? Now, McKinney, whose eyes darted around the courtroom at times because she was looking around, and I'll show y'all that video here in just a second, she's being held without bail. How much do y'all think her bail should have been? Because I don't think she should have had a bail. She presents a huge flight risk, but I think that's appropriate. What y'all think? No bail on the homicide charges, and her next court date is February the 11th. Now, during the court proceeding, public defender, meaning she did not have a private attorney, meaning the bitch was broke. Public defender Wayne Bossio, a veteran of capital murder cases, stepped forward to say that he would be representing McKinney, whose only criminal record is a traffic infraction in Onslaught County, officials say. But there were more questions Thursday than answers regarding the killings, because people obviously want to know, and the prevailing question is, what caused this? There's not a lot of information on this. She hasn't put it out there yet. What's going on, my brother? Relationship Rehab. Y'all make sure to check out his channel. Shout out to my brother. Why do y'all think she did this? I'm going to give y'all some more information, and y'all tell me why y'all think she did this, because I don't understand it, okay? There were more questions than answers. Many details, including a motive, the relationships of the victims to McKinney, and what led up to the violence, remain unclear after Thursday's proceedings. Now, police found the bodies at 11:15 a.m. Wednesday in a house nestled in the Southeast Greenboro subdivision. Officers had been responding to a welfare check because somebody saw something and they said something. They got on the phone and they opened up their mouth. That's the way it works. They responded to a welfare check at a home on the 3600 block of Sweet Birch Drive when they found 3 gunshot victims, including those 2 beautiful angels. And y'all look at their faces. And I want to make sure that y'all see these faces just for a moment. Let's pay these girls some respect. Those are beautiful, beautiful babies. And whatever happened, those girls did not deserve what they were met with. Okay. Now, Assistant District Attorney Stephen Cole told presiding District Court Judge Tanya Cutchins. Earlier, Ron Glenn, a spokesman for the police department, told the news that 2 victims were found dead at the scene and a third, who died later, who was transported to the hospital, which I think was the older person, was taken to the hospital. But Glenn would not say which victim was taken to the hospital. Thursday on the court proceedings, Cole said McKinney had been apprehended at a convenience store because she hit somebody and she tried to get away, and she took off and ran into somebody else, committing a hit and run. Glenn confirmed that police have also connected McKinney to the hit and run accident at about 11:30 a.m. at East Wendover Avenue and North English Street involving a 2011 GMC belonging to Griffin. Now, according to the police, the GMC was traveling west in the center lane of Wendover Avenue when it, excuse me, hold on a second. Still getting over this cold. When it left the road and hit a utility pole before colliding with another vehicle. Now, witnesses said that police told the driver to get out of the car and left the scene on, Witnesses told police the driver got out of the car and left the scene on foot. So, again, I read that a little bit wrong. The driver of the other vehicle complained of injuries. Now, Glenn also said that McKinney is related to each of the victims, which makes this even weirder. What did these babies do to her to cause this? I have no idea. None of this makes any sense at all, and I would love to at least get a motive. Uh-oh, what happened? What happened? What happened? No. John is a channel member. He was saying, okay, let me explain, Eagles is me, because you might not have caught that. Sorry about that, John. I just fixed it. I just unblocked you. Type in the chat and make sure that you can type in the chat. Sorry about that. The space program is what we created here at the AFC. And what that means is that we feel like a person's life is not worth languishing in jail. We should not spend all of our money on somebody's life that is wasted here on Earth. And we think that we need some more space monkeys and we need to launch these type of people into space and participate in the space program. Let them die in space slowly with no air and no food. That's the space program. So yeah, don't block John for that. John is a channel member, so hopefully I can see John type in the chat again. I hope that didn't mess up anything. But that's what that meant, okay? That's the space program, okay? Now, police are not discussing a possible motive at the time, although Glenn says that it does not appear that anyone else was involved, but they are related. Cole also did not mention a motive in court, but this is the thing. I hate when people come to my comment section and they always say, well, why do you always do stories on black people? White people do this kind of thing too. And I'm like, what you're trying to say is that this behavior is okay because someone else does it, which I think is quite dumb. You guys have heard Relationship Rehab talk about it. You guys have heard Tommy talk about it. But it is an absolutely asinine statement to make, to say, because these other people over here acting a fool, that should exclude us, or maybe we just shouldn't talk about it. No, I'm going to fucking talk about it because this type of thing should stop happening, especially to the ones who cannot speak for themselves and the ones who cannot defend themselves. It's not fair to do to these babies because they need us and they need our protection and they definitely need our voice. That's where I stand with that. Now, Glenn confirmed also that Brittany McKinney lived at the residence. She lived at the residence. He declined to discuss whether the victims also lived there. White Pages listed Jerry Griffin at 3627 Sweet Birch Drive. Jansen Silvers, a spokesman for the Gulliford County Schools, confirmed that Mackenzie is a student at Simpkins Elementary, and he said that the district plans to have a grief and crisis team on site on Monday when the students go back to school after the winter break. The triple slaying on the first day of the year follows a record-tying year for homicides in Greensboro, and the city saw 44 killings in 2019, which tied the record set in 2017 for homicides in a single year. Isn't that crazy? So go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and let's go ahead and get this thing started, and I'll let you guys take a look at the news videos. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
A woman accused of killing 3 people, including a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old, faced a judge in Greensboro.
29-year-old Brittany McKinney is accused of killing 2-year-old Serenity Rose and 10-year-old Mackenzie McKinney, as well as 61-year-old Jerry Griffin.
Steve King joins us live outside of the courtroom to share more of what happened inside and what we learned in court today.
Well, Brittany McKinney appeared in the courtroom today, which is actually her 29th birthday, and Judge Tanya Cutchin addressed her during the hearing.
Good afternoon, Ms. McKinney. Good afternoon, Attorney Balsino. I must advise you, ma'am, you have been charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. The maximum punishment is death. I must advise you further that at this point, you do have the right to remain silent.
McKinney did not speak during the hearing. She has not been eligible for bail since being arrested yesterday morning, and the judge says she is still not eligible for release. Prosecutors stated that McKinney told investigators that she's been dealing with substance abuse issues. They also say she only has 1 conviction in the past for a traffic violation in Iredell County. Her next court date is set for February 11th. We're also learning that McKinney was arrested at the Citgo off Wendover Avenue in Greensboro for a hit and run that happened the same day as the homicides. She's accused of running into another car and power pole on Wendover Avenue. No one was hurt in that hit and run, but officers say McKinney was driving Jerry Griffin's vehicle. He's the 61-year-old man she's accused of killing. Police say they connected McKinney to the homicides after arresting her for the hit and run. Now, prosecutors say they were not able to determine a permanent address for McKinney. Police are still not sharing how McKinney knew the victims, just that she knew the victims. Reporting live in Greensboro, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
This morning, we spoke to heartbroken neighbors, including this little girl who fought back tears. Lisa Campos Zayas lives 6 houses down on Sweet Birch Drive. 10-year-old Mackenzie McKinney and Lisa's daughter, 9-year-old Layla, both attended Simpkins Elementary School, and Lisa says that Wednesday morning the unthinkable happened.
I was in tears last night. I was just like, oh my God, you know, knowing that one of them goes to school and rode the same bus with her.
Lisa says Mackenzie and her family moved in the Willow Ridge neighborhood less than a year ago. They never imagined something like this would happen.
She grabbed my hoodie and she said, I don't want you to be involved. She said, sis, I don't want you to be involved.
Veronica Hayes was with Brittany McKinney less than 30 minutes after investigators say McKinney killed her 10-year-old daughter Mackenzie, 2-year-old niece Serenity, and 61-year-old Jerry Griffin, who was living with the family.
I think she was just a little disoriented at that point.
Police say McKinney was involved in a crash, hit a power pole in that woman's car on East Wendover just moments after the killings took place.
But I was just trying to make sure she was okay, not knowing what had happened moments before.
She's like, I killed everybody. I shot everybody in the house.
Also happening in that time frame, a heart-wrenching phone call from McKinney to her sister Delilah.
And she's like, my baby, shot my baby. And then she said, I'm like, so where's Serenity? She's like, I shot her too. I never thought she would do something like this.
They would play in front of my house and stuff.
Lisa Campos and her daughter Layla still can't believe what happened just a few doors down from them.
We just became friends and she was really nice to me.
Layla and Mackenzie rode the bus together to Simpkins Elementary School.
I'm gonna miss her.
A sentiment echoing through the neighborhood.
Bought balloons. Sad situation. Just very sad. Hate that this happened.
As the grieving process for family and friends is only just beginning.
I didn't want to believe it. I still don't.
I don't know what caused this. And the fact that she, okay, so what you guys got to understand is that the mother, what was the mother's name again? Veronica Hayes. I would love to find out what's up with Veronica Hayes in this story, why her kid was at this house, whether they were either visiting or maybe being babysat by the elder gentleman, Jerry Griffin. What did this woman have against these 2 children? One being 10 years old, McKinney was 10 years old, and 2-year-old Serenity Rose. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, even if you had an issue with somebody there, why take it out on the kids? It makes no sense. She said, and you heard that she admitted on the phone that she said that she killed everybody. In my opinion, there is no redemption for that. Send her on the space program. That's why we had the space rocket ship emojis in the chat. Put her on the space program. Her ass is out of here, period. There's no chance for redemption. There's no chance of her getting a reduced sentence, a plea deal, anything like that. She admitted to it. She did this. And those little angels right there that y'all saw on the screen lost their life for something very, very stupid. What we want to know as the AFC is we want to know what it was for. Why did 3 people have to die? What was it for? What was so fucking important that those people needed to lose their lives in your fit of rage? And I told y'all, in my personal opinion, in the hypo culture, my hypothesis is I believe that the woman, Brittany Christina McKinney, the 28-year-old, get her face back up on the screen. I think she did it and stole that car because she was intending to go try to see a man. I think it had something to do with a man in some shape, form, or fashion. That's what I truly believe that she was trying to accomplish. It's usually always something so stupid and so trivial with our people. And that's why we continue to call this thing out, because we want to show our people that, hey, yes, it's ridiculous. No, we don't agree with it. And no, not all of us are like this. That's the point. We're going to start separating ourselves from the trash of our community. And yes, we're going to continue to call this out because we want it to stop. And if you don't want people to make stereotypes, then don't live up to the stereotypes. Stop having these babies for the benefits that you can collect from them. Hashtag babies for benefits. Stop dating thugs. When you date thugs, you date death. And fellas, stop messing with these hood hoes just because hood hoes love hood dick. This whole thing has got us in a whirlwind where we are literally taking out our legacy, our children, the ones coming up beneath us. We're not going to have anything left. They cannot speak for themselves. They cannot defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers. And somebody has to stand up against it. Again, if you see something, please say something. Somebody tried to speak up for these girls and they just didn't do it fast enough. But shout out to them and kudos for them for doing what they could. At the end of the day, it's still that person's responsibility. Don't blame it on DCFS. Don't blame it on the police. Don't blame it on the government. Don't blame it on Donald Trump. We're going to set this squarely on her shoulders with her square face. Why she looked like she had been through a couple of slavery terms. Brittany Christina McKinney deserves death for what she did, and she definitely don't deserve to have life in prison and we take care of her and it come out of our tax dollars. I don't think that's fair. But if they end up having some GoFundMe information come up, I'll definitely make sure and try to post that in the description box because I wasn't able to find anything. But what I do want to wish is for these 2 angels right here, prayer hands up like Michelle posted in the chat and Nakia. I'm going to get mine. Let's put a prayer hands up in the chat if you guys can grab your emojis. And what we want to say is RIP to these angels. 2-year-old Serenity T. Rose, 10-year-old Mackenzie Denise McKinney did not deserve what they got, and they deserve so much better on this earth, and they deserve so much better treatment and parents. This is your boy DJ Just J. I'm signing out. We're the AFC, and what that means for us, we advocate for children first. That ends our stream, and I want to say thank you, man. We had almost about 220 people. That's pretty good on a late night. And make sure you guys hit the thumbs up on the way out. Make sure to share this story, okay? Guys, have a good night. From my heart to yours, y'all have a good night. Peace.